Why absorbing information alone is still not going to change your life. Why do people consume so much content yet they are not able to grow? A lot of people that are interacting with knowledge and information have a big self-awareness gap. You have to be more loyal to the version of yourself you want to experience than you are to your mind. The right affirmations out of it, this framework that I'm giving you, analyze, consume, internalize experience. You don't need any more content that is already validated where you are now, because where you are is exactly what you're trying to outgrow. Hey, my name is PR and welcome to the Catalyst Chronicles. This is my platform that I designed with you in mind. This is where you come to become. So if you're here, I want to welcome you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that whenever I drop a new episode, you can immediately go and watch it. So why absorbing information alone is still not going to change your life. After all the contents that you have absorbed this year and even in last year, you still know that there is still a vacuum and a gap between who you want to become versus who you actually are now. So what is the way ahead? Why do people consume so much content yet they are not able to grow? They are not able to evolve. The transformation they're looking for, the change they're looking for, just can't seem to actually manifest. Even after all of the resources they've invested in themselves and all of the programs that they've joined and all of those things, why are they still not changing? Why is it still no growth? So today we're talking about why people try so hard to change and they can't. And even beyond trying, there are people who genuinely will say, PR, I know I can change. I know I want to change. I'm not debating about it. I'm not figuring it out. I know there is something in my life that needs to change. And I've been taking the steps, watching the podcast, the videos, reading the books, yet nothing is happening. And I want to understand why. This video is going to help you understand why information, knowledge, and content alone is not enough to get you the growth and the transformation that you're looking for. The first reason why information alone is not going to help you grow or change or even develop yourself is because a lot of people that are interacting with knowledge and information have a big self-awareness gap. What does that even mean, PR? It means that you don't know yourself enough. You haven't taken the time to study yourself enough to understand how your mind interacts with content, how your mind processes the information you're reading. So you see people, they'll say like, oh yeah, I read 5 books a month. But if you actually analyze their life, you can tell that the knowledge in those books is clearly not evident in their life. So what is happening? Because they haven't taken the time to know self. There's a big vacuum between the version of themselves they think they are versus who they actually are. And this matters because when it comes to information and knowledge, you need to understand self. You need to understand how you were designed to interact with content, with information. You also need to understand who you have been. You have to analyze your past self. In the past, who have you been? Some of you have been people that have been abused, people that have been betrayed, people that trusted and that trust wasn't reciprocated, people that loved and were rejected. You have to understand who you have been, because who you have been and who you are now, it matters because that version of you has an identity, and that identity shows up when you interact with information. When you don't know who that self is, it doesn't matter if you spend all your life glued to this podcast or a book or whatever, change will not happen. So number one, biggest reason why people learn and absorb information so much and there's still no change or growth is because there's a huge vacuum in their self-awareness. The second reason is because a lot of people interact with content based on emotional consumption, meaning because they don't know self, they don't interact with content that are actually aligned with the version of themselves they're becoming or they want to be. They absorb content based on their emotions. So if they come on a platform and what someone is saying, makes them feel emotionally connected or makes them feel as though they're seen or heard, from an emotional standpoint, you need to love your future more than the person that's giving out the content. If you come on my channel and you're so connected to me emotionally that regardless of what I'm saying, you're just absorbing and making it truth, you're doing yourself a disservice. A lot of people absorb content from an emotional standpoint. What they're doing is called emotional consumption. This shows up in food when people eat and overeat because of how they're feeling. That's how people interact with content. So even though you find them reading a lot of books, listening to a lot of podcasts, doing all these things, it is rooted and it is influenced by their emotions. Whether the content makes them happy, makes them sad, makes them angry, any content, as long as the content interacts with their emotional standpoint, they will consume it. And when you absorb content from an emotional standpoint, there is no growth and transformation coming out of that. The third reason is because people consume content that is familiar to their now state. Meaning, when you are looking to grow and be transformed and develop yourself, you don't listen to content that you identify in your current state, because all that is going to do is validate who you are now. But who you are now is exactly who you are trying to outgrow. So a lot of times when we listen to podcasts or read books or whatever it is that we're getting content from, and we feel so connected to it because we can clearly see that that version that is being exposed to us is identifiable with who we are. But we don't want content that can confirm what we already know. We want content that is going to expose us to a different realm, that is going to expose us to a different idea, to a different version of ourselves. And a lot of times these kind of content, they're hard to absorb, not because what they're saying you can't understand it, but you are not used to it. That's literally the content you need in this season. You don't need any more content that is already validated where you are now, because where you are is exactly what you're trying to outgrow. Choose content that speaks to the next level version of you, not the version of you that we're already trying to outgrow. The number 4 reason why people absorb a lot of content and still can't grow, there is no transformation, there is nothing, it's just content consumption over and over and over again, spending a lot of money, a lot of resources. Today you're in this program, today you're in that program. It's because a lot of people are mentally stubborn. And sometimes it's not because they want to be, it's because there's just so much pain and so much trauma that their mind has experienced. The mind is literally fighting against their exposure to any other kind of content that they feel as though is unsafe. And let me tell you how your mind categorizes things as safe or unsafe, new or not new. Your mind interprets familiar as safe because it is already used to it. So if that safe that you're used to is actually toxic, your brain doesn't have the capacity to tell you, no, this isn't it. As long as your brain has been conditioned and is used to that emotion or used to that state, it's going to say, this is my safe zone. I'm already familiar with it. I already know how it ends. This is where I draw the line. But you need to be more stubborn than your mind. When your mind starts pulling you in one direction, you need to train your mind and pull it to the other direction, because who you are now is heavily dependent on the belief systems and the ideologies that your mind is already used to and connected to. And in this season, we want to absorb content in a way where we can actually benefit from it. We don't have any more resources to join another program unless it's mine. Unless it's mine, because mine actually work, okay? But then again, everybody says that. So it's up to you to actually make that decision. But we don't have any more money to keep investing. Deal with your mind. Your mind is stubborn because it's trying to protect you. But you need to tell your mind that you are perfectly capable of dictating when you are in danger. And so in this season, when your mind start bringing up things where it's like, oh, this looks like what happened last time. It's not safe. It's not safe. You need to tell your mind, oh, no. We are safe. We're going to consume this content because we need this content so you can stop thinking the way that you do. Do you get what I mean? So our mind is stubborn, but you have to be more loyal to the version of yourself you want to experience than you are to your mind. The last reason, and after I share this, I'm going to actually teach you how to interact with content and information in a way where you can actually grow from it, assuming the content that you're absorbing is actually content of quality, right? So the fifth and the final reason why people consume content and just can't see any transformation is because these content they're absorbing lacks practical framework. They're just listening to people talk about their emotions, listening to people talk about their feelings, people talk about what they do in a day. And while it's not always bad to listen to those kind of content, you need content that will give you practical tools and practical framework. Otherwise, you're just listening to me talk. Like I'm talking and I'm sharing things with you. But at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a framework to actually apply what I'm teaching you. That's the difference between content that actually transforms and help you grow versus content that you're just consuming because maybe you like me or you think I'm cute or whatever the case is. All those are valid, but it's not valid enough, okay? So you need content that give you practical framework. And this is why I launched the lab. The lab sessions are live mastermind sessions where you get to interact with me, ask questions as I probe into the way you think. The lab session is not for the weak. If you're in a phase where you're still condoning, accepting, validating, and conforming to the version of you are now, and you're not really serious, the lab session is not for you. And the idea of the lab session is learn, apply, become. You see how I'm teaching you framework, right? Learn, apply, become. This is the whole concept of the lab session. You learn things, you actually go and apply it, and through that experience, you begin to absorb knowledge and wisdom from the experiences you're having based on what you're actually applying. The truth is, you have to actually apply what you learn. Don't just consume content just to consume it, right? You actually have to apply what it is that you are learning. So, in today's video, we're talking about all the reasons why people consume content and information, and that information alone is not going to help you grow. So how do you grow? I'm going to teach you a framework that will help you interact with content and then how to actually apply it. The first thing you do when you come across information is to analyze it before you consume. What a lot of people are doing is they consume first, then they analyze it. After the information is already inside their brain, that's when they're trying to go back and edit it. That's when they're trying to go back and figure out, is this true or not? No, do it the opposite way. Analyze it first. That means take your time. When you read, take your time. As you're listening to me, take your time. Any kind of content you come across, I don't care who is preaching, I don't care what it is they're talking about. Take your time. Analyze the content. Does this, I don't care if it's true. We're not looking for truth. We're looking for what aligns with us for our next level. A lot of people are speaking their truth, but their truth may not be where you are. So don't vet information. Is it true or not? And don't vet it because, oh, I have a deep conviction about it. Those things are not enough because those things are often emotional based. We want to analyze it. Does this information actually have the capacity to help me in my next level? If it doesn't, that content is not true for you. It may be true for someone else. It may be true for the person that is speaking it, but it may not be true for you. So analyze before you consume. Don't consume and then trying to undo what you've already done with your mind. By that time, your mind has already wrapped itself around that content and is looking to make that content your identity. So analyze, consume, and then internalize, and then experience. So you first analyze, then you consume. After you consume, you internalize it. What does that mean? Now that the information and the knowledge is in you, use your mind, put your mind to work. Okay? I'm not even trying to be funny. Put your mind to work. Interact with it. Internalize it. Okay, so I read that if you do this, and that. I'm going to use my teaching right now, for example. I'm teaching right now to internalize information. What does that look like practically? Take what I'm teaching you, meditate over it. So if I do this and I do that, does it align with my next level? Does it actually help me transform? Does this information actually help me interact with knowledge and information in a way that will actually help me grow? Internalize it, meditate on it, find supporting documents. If you're a believer, find supporting scriptures that helps you internalize it. I don't want you to sit across the screen just listening to me talk because I'm cute. I'm wasting your time and you're wasting your own time, okay? So internalize it, meditate on it, the right affirmations out of it. This framework that I'm giving you, analyze, consume, internalize experience. You can literally make it an affirmation. Teach your brain how to interact with information and knowledge, and then you experience it. The truth about the experience phase of this framework I'm teaching you is that the moment you internalize it, you are designed to walk in that experience. It's not something you have to go and fabricate. It's not something you have to engineer. The moment you become one with an information, your spirit, your soul, your subconscious will demand that that information be tested. That's where the experience comes from. Now, as you go through the experience, this is where you verify if the knowledge works for you or not. Do you see the process of actually finding out if the knowledge you're receiving from people is true to you or not? But a lot of people don't understand that this is how we're supposed to interact with information. So this 4-step module that I gave you is the framework you need to actually be able to change and grow based on the content that you're learning. And if the content you're absorbing doesn't teach you how to practically use it in your day-to-day life, then you're just spending resources and time listening to content that have no real weight and no real value, and they will not be able to help you grow or develop. So the next time we meet, my expectation for you is that even with my content, you are using this framework for it. I may teach you things that are true, but it doesn't mean that it's your truth in that season. So as you listen to the things that I teach, use this framework that I'm giving you. And what is that? Analyze content. Once you analyze it and you realize that this content is applicable to my next level, you consume it. Once you consume it, make and take practical steps to internalize it through affirmation, through repetition, through meditation, by adding scriptures. Find something that will help your mind become one with the content. Then after that, walk through that experience. Now remember, the experience part is not up to you. You don't have to force it. You don't have to create anything. Once your subconscious becomes one with the information, your subconscious, in partnership with God and in partnership with the earth, will insist that we test out that information. And that's how I know that what I'm teaching you work, because that's literally the framework that I have used and I still use to this day to learn, to grow, and to develop and build myself. Listen, we're not stopping here. There's just so much of us that we want to experience in this season. And I can't wait to see how you grow this month. If you're interested in the lab sessions, check out the description below. The webinar registration is there. It's free. Come and join me and experience what the lab is actually really about. Because if you like this video, then I have a feeling you're going to like the lab session as well. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.